Welcome to the Dr. April Jasper Show, relevant conversations for business owners of today. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We appreciate being a part of your life and being invited into your day. It is such a joy to be able to help our colleagues to bring value to their patients and to help you strengthen and grow your business. Join us at optometricmanagementeducation.com, where you can learn more about all of the other services we provide. We have a subscription service that you can be a part of, where you can learn and teach your team from the courses that we've recorded on all of the topics that are relevant to your success. We also have consulting services. And right now, if you give us a call, schedule a call with me, I'll be happy to talk to you about what we can do to help you grow your business one-on-one. Hi, everyone. I'm here at the Optometric Management Symposium with one of my best friends, Dr. Lori Mazza. Hi, Lori.
Hi, glad to be here.
Are we having fun?
We are having a great time.
It's good education, right?
Great education. Yep. Getting out of bed early to learn stuff and then have a little fun.
Exactly. So Lori's practice is in Wellington, Florida, and she is, her practice name is Family Vision Center,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
So people might think we're competitors because we're pretty much within 10 miles of each other, I think.
8 to 10.
And it used to be closer than that.
Yeah.
And you know what? I never in my life have thought of it as that. I think we have just been the best of friends. We went to optometry school together, by the way. She was always the pretty one.
No.
And I was just the one that was along on the train to be there with her.
Yeah. We had a good time then too. And
Yeah,
always still doing the same.
exactly. So Lori, I want you to tell everybody about your early days in private practice. And you weren't always in private practice, right?
No. Straight out of school, I started in commercial practice. And actually, you were the one that kind of inspired me to go to private practice because you relocated back to West Palm and had some leads and gave me one of those. Thank you. And it turned out into a full-time job. And then that led to the practice owner wanting to sell his practice. And one thing led to another and bought it in 2004. 4 months pregnant when I signed the paperwork.
So my gosh, I forgot that.
I was kind of like, oh my God, what am I doing?
Yes.
But I'm very, very grateful and blessed and, never looked back. It was the best thing to do.
What do you like the most about it? Like when you think back to the years, there's definitely been challenges. I'll ask you about those in a minute, but what have you really enjoyed the most?
I think what I've enjoyed the most is, getting to be your own boss. I cannot imagine the thought of working for somebody and having to punch a clock right now and live by somebody else's rules. So I think that's one of the best things. And the second thing that came to mind was just watching what you're building and growing. It's almost as good as, watching my children grow up.
Yes.
But it's just your baby. It's a big baby. And, watching it evolve and, looking back at where you were and then where you are now, it's amazing.
And Lori and I, because we're close enough in location and also close as people, we have kind of done this together, like raising our babies together. Oh, by the way, they're almost the same age as well.
Yeah.
Kind of cool how that's happened.
Yes, it has.
So when you look at the challenges, and she said, by the way, building her practice, what's unique about Lori, I don't know is that many people have done this, is not only have you been building a business, but you actually built a building.
Yes.
So let's dive into that. When did you decide it was time to move into your own space?
Probably, going back to 2010, 2012-ish. All the, always reading the articles in optometric management. There was always talk about, if you can own your own building, get your own building. And it just kind of was always there in my mind. And when we were starting to outgrow our space that we were in, and you looked at that big rent check you were paying every month, it was just always there like, man, this would be so nice if that money was going towards something that I owned instead of something that, somebody else owns. So, just started looking. And for me, I figured out where I wanted to be and just kept looking. And then finally, an opportunity came up to buy a plot of land. I would have much rather have bought a building. Supposedly that's the best way to do it. But for me, just wasn't anything in the location I wanted to be in that there was anything to buy. So, with the street visibility, because that was really key to
Yep.
me.
And it has been. Look at you now.
There were condominiums, like medical office condominiums available,
Yep.
but I wanted that street visibility. And so found a plot of land and went through that. And that's a whole nother topic. I don't know how much we want to go into that, but I definitely learned a lot. And it was
the pitfalls.
yeah, the pluses and minuses of, going through that process. And I guess one of my key takeaways there is just make sure you partner with the right contractor, because that could make or break how your experience goes.
You've had a couple challenges with that. I remember, was there something about your sign? Or you had water at the front?
The biggest challenge was, yes, they built a catchment area in the back, and it's supposed to catch the water when it rains. For the 100-year flood, which apparently I guess we get enough rain for the 100-year flood way more often than we would think. But land has to percolate, and percolate means draining the water after it's standing there.
Oh,
and
go figure.
In Florida, there's a lot of areas where there's a lot of shell rock and things underground that don't percolate. So my pond out back, when it would rain, would just keep growing. And actually,
my gosh.
Still to this day, if we get a lot of rain, I lose the back half of my parking lot. It becomes a lake. And then a couple days later, it goes back to being a parking lot. So that was one of our biggest challenges, because we had to stop building because they couldn't pave the parking lot because of the water that was there.
Oh my gosh.
So then other issues we had with paint and lighting. They didn't order the lights that I wanted from my light vendor. They ended up ordering off-brand lights, and those didn't come in. So that held us up for a while.
We are proud to be sponsored by MacuHealth, a triple carotenoid formula that is the only one with mesozeaxanthin, lutein, and zeaxanthin. David and I have been using MacuHealth in our practice for several years. We love it because it's patented with micromicelle technology. It's clinically proven to restore macular pigment and supported by level 1 scientific evidence. So we have confidence that it works. So that must be why I saw the picture of you shooing a snake out of your office one time. Is it the water that attracted the snake, that had the snake decide to live in the office?
I honestly have no clue how that snake, because it was a big snake. He was, a couple feet long, and I have no clue how that snake got in our office. But yes,
you are so tough.
Got to
I would
shoo
have
him
freaked out.
It didn't look like it, was going to bite me, so I was okay with it.
Okay. Lesson in how to eliminate all these problems in your office. But no, that's the fun thing about it too. You never know what tomorrow's going to bring.
So true.
But we usually can just push through it. We learned in a leadership class today that we have to kind of not let our amygdala take over and go through that freak out moment.
Yes, and I know I do that occasionally, but apparently we all do. It's human.
Yeah, it's not just you. You can feel better about that now. So Lori built her own building. So she bought the practice and was in one location for 10 years or so. I didn't do the math.
Yeah,
a little over.
It was about, yeah.
Then it took a year pretty much to get the building.
It took about a year, to go through the permitting process, and then building took about a year. It was supposed to be 6 months, and I think it took a year to actually build the building.
Wow. Well, I can tell you, and I know you know this, but you being in that location is ideal. It's a beautiful spot, beautiful building. Your patients love you, and it's just continuing to grow. It turns out it's one of the biggest growing areas in Florida. So what specialties have you brought into your practice? Obviously, you started out with a practice you bought, and they at the time emphasized what?
Mainly at the time, it was primary care and vision therapy. And the doctor who did the vision therapy just recently passed away. He was 86 years old, Dr. Stephen Franzblau. So we do miss him tremendously.
Yep.
I learned a lot from him. I did not feel prepared to keep going with vision therapy, because the more you know, the more you realize I really don't know what I'm doing in vision therapy. So I prefer to send that out to somebody who's passionate about it and really, really good at it. Yep. So I've always been strong in primary care, ocular disease, contact lenses. So we're, those are our main specialties, specialty contacts. I kind of, every once in a while, I just wish, I'm like, where's that -2 myope? Oh my God. Because everybody's multifocal torics, and We do sclerals, myopia management. So
You're really good at it. You're a problem solver. I've sent you some of my difficult contact lens patients. So thank you for taking care of
you're
them.
welcome.
So then specialties other than that, what else do you think you want to do in the future? Or are you starting into now and just getting going?
We're trying to figure out our protocols for dry eye management, bringing in low-level light therapy, trying to bring in some new technology to do more easily do meibomian gland imaging for the patients, because I've realized that I think is key to building that part of the practice, because I definitely know when you show a patient something, they're way more likely to act upon whatever treatment plan, follows from there. So I'm looking forward to our new, we're getting a new Firefly slit lamp camera.
Oh, wow.
And so that will have the meibomian gland evaluation right there. Built in. And also it has, the capability to do streaming images, so I can show all those ugly eyelids that I always ask people, how do your eyelids feel when they look like
this?
And they're just like, oh, I'm fine. But I know when they see what's on their eyelids and eyelashes, they're going to be mortified.
And you're concerned for good reason. If we let that stuff continue and don't tell them, it's like telling somebody they don't have a booger in their nose, but worse, because it's going to make them actually have problems down the road. What problems does it lead to? How do you tell patients the problems it's going to lead to if they leave their eyes like that?
So I do a lot of coaching our patients about meibomian gland dysfunction and dry eye and how one leads to another and the whole vicious cycle, and trying to intervene in our patient care at an earlier stage, because it's so frustrating when you get people and they're at the train wreck stage.
That's right.
And you can't get them better quickly, and they're just, and it's frustrating to us. It's frustrating to them. It's expensive for them. So I spend a lot of time even just pressing everybody's oil glands. And every routine exam, I press their oil glands. I tell them what I'm doing. And then I tell them why I'm doing it. And, and at least trying to get them to press their oil glands every day. So I think it'll be nice when I have that other technology too, that I can show them what I'm seeing.
I love that.
Maybe I'll be the Instagram, Facebook queen of oil gland goo. I don't know.
I love that.
That's my plan.
And I'm happy that it's Lori and not me. But it really is important. And I feel like if you could bring more awareness to patients in that area, I would benefit as well. Because it's like we interviewed Dr. Bill Steffen about myopia management, and he was saying how one of the biggest challenges in the very beginning when he would talk to patients is they'd be like, if this is such a good thing, why isn't everybody doing it? And there was almost this disbelief.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like it's sometimes that way even with this meibomian gland dysfunction problem? Patients are thinking, what are you talking about? Thank you to NeuroLens for being a sponsor of our podcast. We have really appreciated having the option of NeuroLens for our patients in our practice. At least 2/3 of people experience the symptoms of eye misalignment, and that number grows as we continue to shift to remote work and learning. The symptoms of headaches, eye strain, dry eyes, and neck pain, eye fatigue, even motion sickness can be extreme. Even small misalignments can cause painful symptoms, and even small prism correction can provide dramatic relief.
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit of that, but typically when I'm coaching them, most people are just like, oh my God, I never knew I had glands there. Okay, because I use also some pictures that we put together in the office to show them, here's what the glands look like, here's what it looks like when you have this, here's where you are on the continuum, this is where we want to keep you from being. So just push on your oil glands every morning for me. And I have little vinyl clings that we made up. We used an emoji of the winky eye emoji, and it just says, Family Vision Center, and then it says squeeze your eyelids, I think is what it says.
I love that.
So, and people now, it's kind of funny because they'll come back and I'll go to hand them another one. They're like, I got one already. I got to remember to do it.
That is awesome. So you've gone through this whole process. It's not been always easy. Did we talk about challenges? Should we ask, or should we talk about that? What's been the biggest challenge, really?
I don't think I have any special challenges other than, that none of us that are business owners are going through. It's the same stuff whenever we all get together and talk. It's, we talk about our staff challenges and try to work on strategies to stay positive and keep the staff positive and
Yeah.
not let the yuck spread around the office, different things. Having the right people in place is always good.
Yeah.
And right now that's
Yeah.
obviously a challenge for all of us is finding
Right.
those people. Because everybody seems
Yeah.
we're all going, where are all the employees?
Right.
Where's everybody that was working? So
Yep.
that's same stuff that we all face.
What about, so as we close this, and we'll talk again because I want to go into the details of building a building, but I'll give you, so by the way, you guys, Lori had literally 2 minutes to prepare for this. I made her just sit down and talk about this just off the top of her head, and she's awesome, as you can tell.
Thanks.
So we'll plan for the building one so we can walk through steps that you
Okay.
can give people as to what they should do and maybe not do. And you do it again, though, right? Let me ask you that real quick.
I would.
Okay.
And, it would just be bigger, better, and faster the second time
Right.
around.
Exactly. What parting words do you have, Lori, for new entrepreneur optometrists? Big question, I know, but what would you say to somebody who's just wanting to get out there and get started?
Dream big, have that vision in your head of where you want to be, and then just slowly chip away at it, one day at a time. Have a mentor, have a group. If you don't, having other people that you can work with and bounce ideas off of, is the best thing, you can have. And then just, break down that big dream into baby steps, and just, one step at a time. And it all boils down to treating people the way you want to be treated. The old adage, it all comes back to you. So the way you treat your patients, the way you treat your staff, it all is a blessing, and comes back to you in multitudes.
Right. It does. Oh, I love this. Lori, thank you so much. It's so good to have you just do this for me. And oh my gosh.
Thank you.